Hey, what's going on? Back in the game here, and we're going to do some cool stuff with Rice and My ChatGPT, my instructional systems designer ChatGPT. That's right, that one is fed with all the goodies from instructional systems design in the 70s, and it works that way. And we're going to see how it works. We're going to see what happens. I got some prompts that I'm going to use, and I'm going to show you then the differences using Rice. Now, this is not the first video doing Rice and AI Assistant. There is a video here where I did some quick checkup or quick overview of it. But now we're going to really get into building a course and see how fast we can do it. It should be interesting. Before we go, I want to show you something real quick. Cool videos coming around. I got some cool toys coming up. So the DJI Cosmo Action 5 Pro. That video is coming up, and not only that, we got this puppy right here. So we had the DJI Neo, which is the self-driven or self-navigating drone. So that should be fun. All right, let's get to it. Okay, if you notice here, I have the instructional systems designer. You can check that out if you go to that link, and I'm going to put that link in the description for you. I have a prompt here. The prompt says, give me a course outline and a few brief paragraphs of content for a beginner's course for IT professionals about MITRE ATT&CK framework. So MITRE ATT&CK framework is cybersecurity, and if you probably know, I am a cybersecurity instructional systems designer. So let's see what my instructional systems designer comes off with. Alrighty, so here we are. My ISD, the instructional systems designer ChatGPT, has already popped up here and given me 6 different modules. It seems pretty legit. If you look at it, we got the module 1 introduction, MITRE ATT&CK, understanding tactics and techniques. The one thing I didn't notice here, right, because I didn't prompt it to do that, and that's what we got to remember, is the learning objectives. So all right, cool. So here are the learning objectives. We're not keeping it, we're going to keep it light. It's not going to be too crazy. We do have some good objectives there, analyze gaps, and you have conditions and all of that, right? So we're going to grab this, and then we're going to use some of this information here to set up the course in Rice using AI Assistant. So let's do that. Yes, if you go to the main hub of your Rice setup, so your Rice dashboard, your Rice 360 dashboard, you can go here, create new, and from course, start with AI. And that's exactly what I did. So we come here, and now you get this prompt, right? So it's almost like a prompt that you see in ChatGPT with a generated forms. So I think Articulate did a great job at this, because it's exactly what you want to do, is kind of control or route or guide the user to give you some good feedback and some good information in case they're not that good at prompting. So we're going to put here for IT security professionals, and then we have the learning objectives here, right? So I'm going to grab the learning objectives that I was given by ChatGPT or the ISD ChatGPT. You're going to pop those in here and see what happens. As a matter of fact, yeah, I'm getting too creative. So let's just do that. Yeah, sorry about that. And you notice here that we're talking about content and stuff like that. So if you have like a guide or if you have content to refer to, you can pop it in there. I'm going to try two things. We're going to try this without the content in there and see what happens and see what Rise AI assistant comes up with. Okay, cool. So here we go. It worked pretty quick. That's something I'm noticing from the articulate AI stuff. It's like super fast, right? Now it gave me 5 different actions here: mastering, MITRE attack, and we are still getting some of those words, some of those trigger words that you get from ChatGPT, right? Mastering, unlocking, that type of stuff. And I think apps, especially L&D apps or learning apps, should kind of mitigate that to not have used those words. I think those things you can add in the algorithm. So it's like mastering is like for a beginner's course, you're mastering not so much, right? But all right, here we go. So here you got like add more options. I'm gonna say no, and here we got. So we got more options. So okay, so I guess in this flow, we grab this, we select one of the items, and here is the breakdown of it. So what you have there was 5 options of a title. You select that title and then you get this outline. Once you get this outline, then it's going to ask you here, okay, do you want to revise anything? So I'm looking at the title, which was the mastering title. We have the lessons, understanding and stuff like that. We got it here. We got lesson 2, exploring the 14 tactics. Lesson 3, mapping incidents techniques. Lesson 4, gap analysis, and so, right? So if we're happy with this outline, go ahead and click Insert Course Outline. As we get there, then we have the course set up here, and now we're ready to add content. If you know about Rise, it's pretty easy to use. You select the everything out of box, and then you have here some capabilities with AI as well. So now we can start looking at adding AI blocks, which is interesting. Create content with AI blocks. And here you have now the actual interface with that. So what's interesting is that we can do visualize the attack matrix, purpose of the attack or the MITRE attack, and key components overview. So if we're starting with understanding the MITRE attack framework, I'll say that perhaps the purpose is a good thing to start with. So we'll do that. So we'll do a block about the purpose. And then here's the guided question or the guided AI assistant from Articulate, which is asking, okay, what type of block do you want? If you're familiar with blocks, they're basically what they say they are. They're blocks. They have either interactive elements or multimedia elements. And here we have a paragraph, we have statements. So that will be just a, like a sentence, a word, like a quote. We have the paragraph, which we all know what a paragraph is. We have interactive activities like sorting and flashcards and accordions and things like that. So I'm interested in seeing what we can do here with this, and we're going to go and put it down. If it's a purpose, I'll say, probably what I want to do is a paragraph real quick. So we'll do a paragraph. So here's my paragraph. And so why MITRE attacks matters. So this is a great way to start the course, because I can just be like, okay, well, yeah, that's how you want to start with anyone, an adult learner or whoever it is. You want to start with that why, right? It's like, what is MITRE and why do I need it? So then from here, we continue on, and now we get into something interesting, like maybe adding an image. And here we have the image. And so as we've seen before, and you might have seen in the other videos, the image generation of AI assistant is amazing. Like, it's pretty good. It's really one of the best features they had, and I'm really excited to see what happens when they do video. So from this perspective, you provide, or you give the prompt real quick, like, provide a visualization of the MITRE attack framework, and then you select the style. So if it's a style here, let's just say that we have, I think I tried the vector stuff before. That didn't work too well. And action personalization is going to be a little crazy. You know what? I'm going to select no style on that and see what it does, because I haven't tried that. So we're going to go with landscape, and we're going to generate the image. All right, so here are the MITRE framework things. You can actually view them and see what they're doing. So here we are in our generation of that. So obviously in this cases, right, if we're doing some technical content, I'm really testing it in the hardest way possible. You will notice some things that perhaps it is using, or it seems to be using DALL-E in the back end. So you have the issues, the artifacts that you get with AI, which is like the words being mumbled and stuff like that. So that's one option. Then here's another option. And, you know, same situation, right? Like you get those, you don't get that. So, nothing can be perfect, obviously. But it's pretty good in the sense of, you know, giving you an idea of what that can be, I guess. So we have those. I'm going to assume, let's assume that I'm going to use this. And boom, here's our image. And here is MITRE K, which should be MITRE attack. But there we are, right? So that didn't pick up well, but it works all right. And then we have the paragraph and our image. All right, cool stuff, right? So then from here, we can back out, go over and add more content, create lesson, right? And then we get to the same situation, which is the block. We can add a block, and this time I'm going to add a block that is, you know, suggested by them, which is like the reconnaissance tactics or the execution techniques. So let's say we're reconnaissance tactics because you want to detect the threats, or you want to detect the sort of the attacks, right? And so maybe this is more of a process. So here's your process: understanding reconnaissance, identifying targets, and so that's great for that perspective. And then it's asking, do you want me to revise anything? For the sake of you know, correcting it, I will say step 4 is analyzing and mitigating data. And I'm just making that up just so we can take a look at what is it that we need to modify. So let me see what happens there. All right, perfect. See, so it grabbed my instructions and put them there. Now I can enter the outline, and here's the process. So you get the intro, you get the steps, right? One by one. Boom, let's go ahead and insert this block. You insert the block, and there's the process block. Now this is phenomenal. This is great. It gives you only text at this point, but I mean, it's cutting a lot of the, if you already have the information, it's cutting a lot of the cut and paste and edit and things like that. So from that perspective, awesome. In comparison to the ISD in terms of content, right? When we look at content, here's what the ISD came out with. Module 1, Introduction to MITRE Attacks, understanding the tactics and the techniques. But you notice that they are not really a lot of this mastering or unlocking terms, right? And then we have using MITRE attack for threat detection, how to map, identify the gaps, and all that. So I love this because this is actually based with the original setup of the literature of ADDIE and the instructional systems design, systemic design practices. So it's actually, I'm not telling you it's perfect, and I would love for you to try it. If you tried it, go ahead and drop a comment down below, and please like the video and let me know. But yeah, this is, I'm pretty proud of this one. It's still working on it. I'm not saying it's done, but it's coming out with some pretty good stuff, and it's making, I use it every day. It makes my work and my life 10 times easier. I can put out a course or the outline and stuff like that in minutes. And I think this is where Articulate is also going, and I think they've done a great job here in this. And I mean, there's more to explore. This is just a quick showdown of what it is, show you how it works, but there's more here to work. Once we have content, we can go here and start generating knowledge checks. We can generate more blocks, and we can do some other stuff that still, you know, it will take probably, I don't know, I think it takes an hour to cover all this in detail and give you that specific detail. So I'm going to do more videos on this. Of course, I love the stuff. They generate the knowledge check. I tested it in a storyline before. We're going to test it here real quick. And it's already giving me ideas on how to work. So we're going to do the execution techniques, and it's going to pop some knowledge checks for us. So here is a knowledge check. Boom. Questions, correct answer, what it is, and the feedback for them. And it's giving you correct and incorrect feedback. Interesting enough, instructional ISD. The instructional ISD ChatGPT also does that. So yeah, super exciting stuff. This seems pretty cool. So I hope this helps you understand a little better what's happening with Rice and Articulate and AI Assistant. And obviously, there's nowhere to go from here than up. So I really like that.